Is Kuala Lumpur a good place to live in? According to Expat City Ranking 2018, Kuala Lumpur is ranked the 6th best city in the world on the basis of factors related to the living of expatriates, such as urban life quality, living cost, work-life balance, quality of housing, and others. Having the opportunity to live in a city where we have easy access to a variety of convenience may sound like an amazing life. But we often forget about the most important thing in life, which is healthy living. Living in a city tends to distance us from healthy social living habits. We have lesser access to a clean and pollutant-free living environment, and one of the causes to this would be the scarce of green spaces. According to a research by Kania, the rapid growth of population within the Kuala Lumpur city has become one of the main causes to the depletion of green areas in Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur has seen an approximate of 77% in terms of the growth of population from the year 1950 to the year 2010. Therefore, the depletion of green areas could be caused by the increase in growth population, as there will be more houses needed to accommodate the population growth. By saying this, the establishment of various industries, transport services, as well as urban infrastructures projects such as mass rapid transit (MRT) and light rail transit (LRT) will be required for sustainable development of the housing areas.
In order to understand more about the issue of overdevelopment, our group paid a visit to Malaysian Nature Society (MNS). Malaysian Nature Society is a non-profit membership-based organisation that aims to conserve the remaining green areas in the city of Kuala Lumpur. The headquarters of MNS is located on Federal Hill, locally known as Bukit Persekutuan. It is one of the few remaining green areas and the largest in Kuala Lumpur city centre.
Federal Hill is under the jurisdiction of the federal government. However, in recent years, plans for further developing the area by private developers have been worrying. They are concerned that the remainder of the undeveloped area of Federal Hill are under threat of further potential development. Due to these potential threats, MNS is attempting to highlight this issue. However, the efforts of MNS in hoping to give Federal Hills some form of protection will take some time and effort of both parties, which includes the federal government, in order to materialize.
Throughout the journey of conserving and sustaining Federal Hill, Mr. Sharil, a plant biologist and person in charge of the Urban Community Forest Project, works with his team at Malaysian Nature Society to lobby for the protection of the area. For instance, according to Mr. Soni, who is the Malaysian Nature Society Wetlands and Marine Conservation Manager, sees the potential of Federal Hill to one day be an environmental educational hub and recreational park for urban dwellers, therefore improving the awareness of city folk about the importance of the natural environment and improving the quality of life in the city centre. As we all begin to see the challenges faced in the battle to conserve green spaces, the inefficiency of enforcement or regulation is believed to be one of the causes of loss of green spaces. To be more specific, some of the policies only serve as a written guideline, and the enforcement of policy varies according to state and local authorities. This means that there is no consistency on expectations between the higher authority and the lower authority in terms of executing the plan or scheme at their respective area of governance. In order to prevent the worsen of the condition, it is crucial that the awareness about overdevelopment of land is being raised among the people of not only the Kuala Lumpur city but also the citizens of Malaysia. The public needs to be informed about the consequences that they will be facing if natural habitats and ecosystems are destroyed to accommodate the development of lands for commercial purposes. The Star had reported in one of the articles that there are approximately 35,000 completed residential units in Malaysia that are currently vacant. Aside from that, it is also important that citizens are given the decision-making rights when it comes to approving the development of land in a particular area. The public should be allowed and encouraged to voice out their opinions on the issue, as they will be directly affected by it.
In an interview conducted with one of the residents living in Kuala Lumpur, Amanda, she had discussed with us some of the discomforts that she had faced due to the overdevelopment of land around her residential area. So, let's hear what Amanda has to say about this issue.
In the area that I live in, there's not much green area actually, because many places have been developed, a lot of buildings, a lot of factories as well. Even at this moment, they are building the MRT station, so we don't actually get to really see any green spaces. And in my opinion, I think it's pretty bad for the environment and also for the health of the people living in KL area.
In an interview with Mr. Shahril and Mrs. Soni, Mr. Shahril had emphasized that the urban society needs to know about the importance of green areas in order to conserve the green areas that are in the Kuala Lumpur city centre.
I grew up in Damansara Heights. When in the 70s, I was surrounded by greenery. And I used to wade in streams and rivers in Damansara Heights, which are now monsoon drains, just concrete, waterways. Those were rivers which I used to fish in. So when I was young, I was surrounded by greenery, and Federal Hills was my back door because I grew up in Damansara Heights, so it was my backyard. Yeah, Sri Atamas was still a plantation and forest. Yeah, Mount Kiara was just hills of forest. As long as there's still a leaf and a plant that is still struggling to survive in there, well, we do what we can. And that's the inspiration behind UCF basically, is to try and save whatever greenery we have left in KL. Yeah? With a greater picture in mind. By educating the urbanites, citizens of KL, the importance of environment, and by conserving whatever greenery we have left within the KL city centre, that will create a bigger awareness of the bigger picture outside of KL, and within the entire nation, and what better voice to have than the urban society, because basically this is one of the bigger voices we have, city dwellers.
The improvement of the current situation could be done through the cooperation of the government and developers. With that being said, Kuala Lumpur City Hall should consider several measures to ensure that the development of area is not too highly dense and crowded. Also, Malaysian government should further enforce the National Forestry Act 1984, where any development plan should be approved by the authority and more pocket parks should be created around Kuala Lumpur.
On the other hand, developers should cooperate with the government in conserving the green areas.
For example, both parties can work on increasing vertical greening within the city to intensify the green areas in Kuala Lumpur. Coming to the end of this video, we all now have understood the importance of green spaces in our city, Kuala Lumpur. And we realize that Federal Hill is the remaining largest green space in Kuala Lumpur city centre. Hence, it is necessary to protect these green spaces to secure an environment with a balance of development and greenery areas.
With the rational planning and the cooperations among different parties in the city areas, lands are utilized effectively where there are adequate spaces for commercial and residential purpose, as well as for wildlife. On top of that, with the increase of green spaces, the air will become fresher for the well-being of the citizens. Ultimately, the issue of overdevelopment would become less severe, which eventually leads to a better quality life for residents.